Hi guys, it's Charlotte, and in today's video I'm doing the second part of my my advice for year X series, and this one is for year 10. And year 10 was my absolute favourite year, so I am super excited to give you guys this advice because I know a lot of you guys are going into year 10, and it is one of the most important years of high school. Like I just said, year 10 was my favourite year of high school. I loved year 10. It was the year where I felt like I was doing the most, where I felt like my grades were kind of the most consistent, and where I just kind of felt the most confident and happy, and everything was just chill and there wasn't as much stress, and I had loads of friends going on, and I was doing so many extracurricular stuff and everything was just great. So the reason that I had such a good year 10 was for a number of reasons, and I'm going to share that advice with you guys, so hopefully you guys can have the most productive, fun and just the best year 10 that you guys can have. So if you are going into year 10, I will say year 10 is a very important year. For some people it is the start of GCSEs, for other people it's the second year of GCSEs. I'm going to talk quite generally, so this stuff could apply to if you have just started your GCSEs or if you are continuously doing them. So I did start my GCSEs in year 10. I know a lot of people do start in year 9 now, like my sister's year, she's going into year 10, she started her GCSEs last year in year 9. So yeah, you are doing your GCSEs and you may think, oh, it's not important, I've still got year 11. But it is incredibly important. Do not underestimate how important year 10 is. Year 10 is the foundation for year 11. If you do well in year 10, you are more than likely to do very well in year 11. And of course I haven't got my GCSE results yet, but hopefully I've done very well, and that I think is mostly due to my success in year 10. So this is how I started out year 10. 2 years ago at the beginning of summer I decided, you know what, I want to do really well in my GCSEs, so I started revision, and I revised the entire summer of year 10, and of course it's coming to the end of summer now. However, there is still enough time to start revision, there's enough time to start prep. That summer I'd do an hour or 2 hours of just preparation every day, so I'd be reading the biology syllabus, I'd be making notes about the English literature books I'm going to read, all those kinds of things, and all the stuff that you are going to study is available to access online. You can go onto your exam board website, you can go into your school website. Obviously some schools are a little bit different to others. You can email your teachers and ask them stuff on the curriculum that they feel like might be a little bit trickier, that you might want to prepare for in advance, all that kind of stuff. And the summer is so vital. No matter what year going into, this applies to everyone. The summer is so important, because if you're going into that summer, you've got 6 weeks or more. If you go into a year 12, you've got 6 weeks of time to spend however you want, and of course you can go out and have fun, you can go on holiday, you can socialise, whatever you want to do, but you could also use that to prepare, which is so important, and it's a tool for some people, and it hinders other people. Because it's this big break, especially if you started your GCSEs in year 9 and you're going into year 10. The summer is this big break where you feel oh, it's unimportant, and you do forget a lot, especially if you started your GCSEs in year 9, you learnt a lot of the important stuff in year 9. It's very difficult to realise that the summer is important, and especially when you go into year 10, you think, oh, I'm not really old enough to spend my summer revising. But to be honest, it's never too early to start revision. So yeah, I would say if you can, spend maybe half an hour a day just doing a little bit of recapping from stuff you learnt last year. If you're doing language, recap the nouns and the verbs and the grammar and important things like that. If you're interested in science, go through the syllabus. If you're interested in English, maybe reread one of the books that you've studied in the past or that you know you're going to be studying next year. All those kinds of things are just really, really important to do over the summer, just so your brain is refreshing. Even if it's literally just writing out your ABCs every day and just doing a little bit of something, it is so important for your brain to continue that stimulus over summer, because otherwise you will forget a lot, and you will have that period when you're going back to school until about Christmas time where you're recapping. Whereas if you've done the preparation over summer, that period can be your revision time, and you will be well ahead of your classmates, which is very important. So one thing that I would say made my year 10 such an enjoyable experience was extracurricular activities. Year 10 is the perfect year to do extracurricular activities. You can be super duper busy in year 10, and people will just say that's brilliant, because obviously when you're in year 11 people say slow down a little bit, but when you're in year 10 it's the perfect year to do it. So when I was in year 10 I was deputy head girl. I think I did 3 plays, 3 shows. I did like the Scholars Programme, I did the Brilliant Club, I went to a trip to Oxford, I went to New York, I went to Italy. I did a lot in year 10. All with school, and of course I did other things outside of school as well. But yeah, year 10, you can afford to spend your time building up your CV, and it looks really impressive if you have a lot of things in year 10 and year 11, but if you do a lot of things in year 11 to in year 10 towards kind of like the end of the year, then it is really good, because obviously it looks like you kind of did it in year 11 as well. And obviously on your CV you want the most up-to-date things as possible that are also equally impressive. So any opportunities that you get at school, please do take them in year 10. Don't think that you're too busy or you want to hang out with your friends or whatever. Please, please, please take all the opportunities that you can do, because they are so important and so vital for your CV and for your future, and they build you up as a person. And I'm honestly so grateful for all of the opportunities that I had in year 10. Also, maybe if your school doesn't have a lot, go out and look for them. Like, look for work experience programs, look for clubs you can join. All those kinds of things are so important when you're in year 10. So another thing that I would say is super duper important in year 10 is staying focused on your work. And I know it can be hard in year 10 because you think, oh, I've got a whole other year ahead of me and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, at the end of year 10, you kind of learnt the majority of the content for GCSE, especially if you started in year 9. So what you need to do is you need to stay focused, you need to learn absolutely everything that you can. And of course they're going to have off days, you're going to have days where you think, oh my god, I'm just not in it, I'm just not with it today, I'm just not going to focus, which is fine. You're allowed, especially in like year 10, because it's not GCSE year, but you do need to keep a really good level of focus. You need to keep your attendance as high as possible, because you may think, oh, it's only year 10, no one cares about my attendance, but your attendance is so important. If you miss like 1 or 2 lessons a week in year 10, you're missing practically a quarter of the syllabus across a term, which can be atrocious when you're going into year 11 and you haven't learned that stuff and you have to recap later on, where you could be using that time to revise. So basically what I'm trying to say is year 10 is the stepping stone to year 11. Year 10 is so important that you stay focused, that you do all of your work, that you do all of your homework. Homework is so important, never ignore homework. That you have a good relationship with your teachers, that you get as many things on your CV as possible, and basically that you just work as hard as you can. Year 10 is not that scary. Year 10 is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a time when you are figuring out who you are, what you enjoy, what subjects you like, what subjects you don't like, maybe thinking about what you do in the future, what you want to do for A-levels, all those kinds of things. And year 10 is that year where you can do it, where you can afford to have time, where you're focusing on slightly different things, not always just GCSEs. And the more prepared you get in year 10, then the less stress you will have in year 11. So I hope that this video helped. It was quite a quick one, but I hope that it helped you guys who are going into year 10. I've had a lot of people messaging me and asking me about advice for it, but I did hope this like answered some of your questions and that kind of thing. Don't know what I'm doing with my hands. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.